Hello and welcome to this spiritual path reading. We're going to be taking a little look at your spiritual path today, what's going on there, anything that you need to do, things that you might need to consider at the moment, how you can get the best out of your spirituality, your psychic gifts and abilities too, and any messages that your spirit guides have for you at this time. So we've got 4 piles of cards laid out here. The first one has this lovely little rose quartz angel here. Put her back. So that's pile 1. Pile 2, we have a lovely smiling Buddha, happy Buddha. Pile 3, we have a clear quartz angel. Oops, doesn't want to stand up. And pile 4, we have a Thai Buddha. Okay, so take a moment, tune into the cards and see which pile of cards speaks to you, which one that you want to pick, and then go to the timestamp and watch your reading. And hello pile 1, you've chosen the pile of cards with the little rose quartz angel. We shall pop her over here to watch over this reading for us. So let's take a look at the cards that you have. Okay, to start with we have number 27, Joy. And we have number 18, Let Go. Okay, this is interesting because it does feel like there are a lot of burdens, or perhaps there have been a lot of burdens for you on your spiritual path, on your life's path in this lifetime. And it does feel very much like your soul wants to focus on experiencing joy, happiness, all of the good things now. And it feels that in order to do that, in order to move forwards and move forwards in your spiritual lessons, there's a lot that actually needs to go. There are things that literally need to be cut out of your life right now. Maybe people, places, things, bad habits, negative thoughts, unhelpful thought patterns that go around in your head and tell you that you're useless or worthless. There's a lot of shadow here on that number 18-9 to look at, but I think from looking at the shadow here, and by the shadow aspects of self, what I mean is unhealed aspects of the self, and that's what I would encourage you to do right now. It feels very important on your soul's path right now to look at the unhealed aspects of your life, where you've suffered trauma, where you've had difficult situations, things that you need to heal from, perhaps trauma, and trauma can come in varying degrees. It doesn't necessarily have to be something super major, there are lots of things that are difficult, so it might be time to think about speaking to a counsellor, particularly one with a bit of a spiritual edge. That can also be very helpful. But it's definitely time to let go of some things. It may be time to do a tie cutting ceremony. If you actually need a meditation to do that, I will link to one above, the one that I've recorded with Archangel Michael that you're welcome to use. Because it does feel very much like you are stepping into a point on your path where it's time for you to speak your divine truth now. And it feels incredibly important. And I think it's all about becoming your full self right now, becoming your full true self, experiencing the joy of really knowing who you are. And it's interesting because both of these cards are actually number 9, so we've got 18-9 and 27-9. So very interesting that with the numerology, there's a lot of wisdom to be had here. There is wisdom from being yourself and being happy rather than doing everything for everybody else or focusing your life to other people or dedicating your life to some cause. What about you? What about what brings you joy? What about what makes you happy? Because that's where you will find the wisdom. And it seems to me that pile 1, perhaps you've neglected your own happiness, perhaps you've neglected that, thinking that your path was one of altruism, was one of helping other people, but it feels like you may have got a little bit tangled up in too many webs, and boy do narcissists make webs for us empaths, so it feels very much time to let go of a lot of things and move more towards your joy, more towards your authentic self now. And that seems extremely important. So let's just bring in some more cards here. Okay, so we have a look at the divination of the ancients next. We have Ogum, nature. We have I Ching, change. Okay, so yeah, changes on the cards, changes on the coins as well, which is very interesting in and of itself. Ogum, now, wow, now that's an ancient divination tool, and a very natural one as well, a very simple one. And again, coins are very simple to work with as well. I mean, the interpretations can be incredibly complex with the I Ching. You can actually do the I Ching just with any coin. It doesn't have to be, a coin with a hole in it, although you can obtain them quite easily. I have one here. But it does feel as though you're being asked to work with your innate abilities, with your psychic abilities, with your gifts, with your mediumship, whatever it is. And there's a reminder here that it doesn't have to be complicated to get the right message. It doesn't have to be something special or expensive. You don't have to use expensive equipment or, expensive handcrafted tools or anything. You can literally make your own ogham from pieces of wood, from sticks that you find in the woods. Anyone can do that. If you have that and a craft knife, you're pretty much well away. And again, the I Ching you can do with coins and a piece of paper and a pencil. It really doesn't take very much. So there's a strong reminder here to use your spirituality, tap into your spiritual gifts, what I call your higher senses, because we have the five senses that we're aware of, that we're taught about, being able to see, hear, smell, taste and touch, but we also have higher senses as well. We have clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairalience, clairsentience, claircognizance, and so many others. And there's a reminder here that you can work with all of those senses in quite easy ways. So it may be time to actually look at developing your spiritual practice and working with your own abilities. I want to say the word forecast comes to mind, forecasting or casting. So it may be literally casting coins or ogham or runes or, whatever it is that you want to do. Again, runes you can make yourself with pieces of wood, and a little craft knife or a little burner or so. It's not difficult to do. And it does feel, I want to say, it does feel very much like I want you to just get going, do something. All right. And remember, this is a group reading, so take what what makes sense to you. What pays? Interesting. Pays. That's an interesting word to come through. There's something about money here. That's interesting because we got the coins. Take what makes sense to you and leave what doesn't. Okay. So I feel for some of you here, if you're already using your abilities, I want to say go back to basics. I want to say simplify. All right, it might be that you've got a little bit too complicated, you're overcomplicating things a little bit, maybe you're overthinking things a little bit, trying to just be too flashy with it, and it's not necessary, and that can actually be getting in the way of you bringing through the messages. Okay, it doesn't have to be all flashy and clever. Go back to basics, go back to simplicity, go back to your pure abilities. I mean, with our psychic ability, we don't need any tools to work with our psychic ability. We don't need anything. We can work with it just with our spirit guides, using pure clairvoyance to bring through messages. Tools certainly make it easier. They definitely make it a lot easier because you don't have to work quite so hard. And why should you have to work so hard? And it's fun. There's something to look at rather than me just sitting here talking randomly. So let's take a look at the next cards coming in here. We've got the Animal Spirit Oracle coming in next. So we've got Rabbit Spirit, now is a lucky time. 45, Watch Your Words. Parrot Spirit, and 15, Cow Spirit. The miracles are endless. And then I'm just going to bring the last card as well because it seems relevant. These seem to be going together. We've got a fairy card, which is abundance, fairy oracle card. Okay, this is why we said paid, why that word came through, the word paid came through. So this is about money. Watch your words. That may be why I was stumbling over my words as well. The spirit were trying to give me the message before I even got the cards out. They do that. They're a clever lot. Let's take a look here. So it is a very fortunate time. And it could be that you actually want to make money using your gifts, using your abilities. And you're absolutely allowed to do that. Just to let you know, you are absolutely allowed to do that. There is nothing wrong whatsoever with using your innate abilities, whether it's healing, whether it's psychic ability, mediumship, whatever it is, casting spells for people, doing energy work for people, whatever it is, it's absolutely okay to make money from it. All right. And this is a very fortunate time right now. And again, it's something that you can incorporate into a regular job as well. If you do any sort of work, there are all kinds of ways you can incorporate your skills into day-to-day, in the corporate world. Something that I used to do when I worked in the corporate world in another lifetime. I used to actually well, I would partly practice using my abilities, and it was partly for my own benefit as well. If I noticed my boss was in a bad mood, for example, I would tune into her energy to find out if it was about me, if she was cross with me, so that I would know what she was angry about. And I'd tune in. Is it me? No. Oh, she's upset about that. Oh, that's fine. I can get on with my day. I don't have to worry. Or I might tune in and go, oh, it's about her relationship. I'll go and make her a cup of tea, help her feel better. And you can do that. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not violating any rules by just tuning into somebody's energy and picking up how they're feeling. Okay, that can actually help enormously. It can help to make you a much better team player. You can bring real change to the workplace. You can bring real, serious levels of empathy, make it so much more harmonious in the workplace by bringing your abilities, and knowing what people need and what they want, and doing things to the best of your ability to help them and to teach them as well. So watch your words. It does feel like perhaps you're not speaking up enough about your psychic ability or about your spiritual path or your spirituality, the things that are important to you on your path. It feels as though maybe you're not speaking to the right people for some of you on 45.9, and there is definitely something to be said for the wisdom of knowing who to talk to about this stuff. Some people would have you locked up and throw away the key, whereas other people are fascinated by it, whereas other people will tell you you're the devil and you should be burnt at the stake. It's a mixed bag out there. Obviously that wouldn't happen if you spoke to me, but yeah, I feel there's a caution here about who you speak to, but also that you allow yourself to speak about it. So there's the two different aspects here. It could be about finding some friends who are more spiritually aligned with you, who are interested in what you do rather than just tolerating it or just going, oh yeah, that's so-and-so and her crazy, tarot or whatever she does. Because we have friends like that, and we have friends of different types and perhaps different categories in our lifetime, don't we? We'll have a friend that we go out with, maybe we'll have a friend that we do spiritual stuff with, a friend that we watch a particular series with, we've got different friends and we do different things with them, and that's okay. But I want to say, I want to bring in a community here, or at least some friends who will help and guide you, but also support you on your spiritual time. And it does feel like a fortunate moment for that, because we've got the mummy rabbit here with the little baby rabbit. So it does feel like a time to do that. And it might be actually you teaching other people who are really, really interested. It might be you starting a class somewhere for other people to come to right now. But there are miracles abounding around you here with the cow spirit, which is very, very generous. Very generous. The cow spirit is basically giving you everything you need. It's nourishing. There's abundance. There's luck here. It is about communication. Communication has to be a part of it. It has to be right communication as well. But that's what it feels like to me. Like it may be time for you to either go to a class or start the class yourself. Perhaps it may be you that needs to run the class and help other people, or run a group where women or people can meet up and have certain spiritual activities or experiences, whatever it is that they need. So we're just going to pull a couple of my little message oracle cards, see what we've got here. Okay, playtime is over. Oh, gratitude isn't about being small, it's about opening your arms wide. Yes, so there's definitely a nudge here from the universe to play bigger. All right, we're not playing anymore. You've got the ability to use them. All right. They're not playing. Bring them into balance with the other aspects of your life. They are just as important. And it feels like this is particularly important on your spiritual path right now, that you do not neglect your abilities, that you do not put them to one side or think, oh no, I just use those at this time. I don't do them over here, or I don't do them with this person. It feels like they need to be a lot more integral into your day-to-day life. It feels like your spiritual practice, psychic ability, higher abilities, it all needs to be part and parcel of who you truly are. Because I think without them, you'll feel like you've got a piece of you missing. You'll feel like you're always having to censor yourself, always having to pretend that you're not so interested in that, or just stay quiet about it, when you really would like to talk about it when it seems relevant. Maybe it is about also speaking up, giving a spiritual angle, giving an opinion from a more spiritual direction when people are talking as well. And that can be quite scary to do if you're not used to doing it. Okay, that can be quite scary. So gratitude, yes, on 17. 17.8, which brings great fortune as well. But remember to be grateful, and it's possible you already have a gratitude practice, which is great. You know, we all do it from time to time, don't we? Some people do it more than others. But I do want to say, I want to remind you here that I'm not saying that you're not grateful for what you have. I think you very much are, but I think you're playing small. And I think you need to remember that being grateful is about being abundant and about being big. And I'm opening my arms up wide, but you can't see me. As I do that, my energy wants to get really big. Open up my arms wide, open up my heart chakra wide. So I'm drawn to yoga positions like Cobra that opens up the heart here. Open up your heart to receive. All right, it's all very well opening up your heart to give, but energy has to go in both directions. All right, we have to keep a flow of energy, otherwise it gets stagnant or things get depleted. The energy must flow in both directions. So open up your heart to receive. That's what I want to say for you right now. Open up your heart to receive in all different ways. And this could be your psychic ability, this could be financial opportunities, this could be opportunities to join certain groups, to start certain activities, to start teaching, to start guiding others, because that could well be a part of your path right now, to be that light for others. So, and just lastly, take time to heal, okay, on that very grounded number 4. And going back to the original message, it does feel like you've been through a lot. It feels like your energy is depleted potentially at the moment. And it may be that you literally need to take some time out, okay? And remember your spiritual practice, because I feel like that can really help you to heal as well. You know, whatever it is that you do, Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong, meditation, breath work, I don't know what it is, Reiki, you know, you tell me. Take time to heal yourself on every level. I want to say healing emotionally, but also healing on a higher level, on a karmic level. There may be some ancestral karma to clear there. It does feel like there's trauma coming through from past lives with you as well, that again, you need to cut out, you need to get rid of. And, you know, it's not so hard to do, fortunately. It's really not. But it does feel like you've been through the mill. So you must do that healing work so that you can feel strong enough to use your voice, to be that leader, to be that guide for others, or to step forwards and be true about who you truly are, you know, and step into those courses, or find teachers for what it is that you want to do, or find friends to actually practice with, to do the things that you want to do, and take things just to the next level from wherever you are at the moment. Because I appreciate, obviously, this is a group reading, everyone's at a different level. We're all at different levels here. So yes, how can you build on this? 44, that's a lot of 4s. We've got a 444 here, so that could well be a number combination that shows up to show you that you're on your spiritual path right now. So I want you to look out for 444, combinations of 4s. That's a very grounded number combination to have. So I feel it will be about things actually in the real world, actually physical, tangible things that will be coming to you. So it could be that somebody gifts you, I don't know, some ogum or something. That would be pretty cool. Or somebody gives you the opportunity, but it feels quite tangible, whatever it is. It's not something woolly. But I want to say, how can you build on where you are at the moment? How can you build on where you are spiritually? How can you build on your spiritual practice? How can you enjoy yourself more with it? And I'm not trying to give you homework here. I'm not trying to give you a job to do. Okay. I'm trying to bring the joy back in, because this is the point. Oh, sorry. This is the point. If we don't have joy, what do we have? Who are we? What are we if we don't have happiness, if we don't have joy? What's going to be a pretty miserable, lonely existence? And how can we possibly help others if we're coming from a low, sad, depleted, unhappy energy? We must know joy so that others can know it too. We must experience joy. We must spread it to other people. And one of your most important lessons, I think, is learning that it's okay to be happy. It's okay to be okay, and that other people can learn from your example. But also energetically, other people will start to feel more joyful in themselves, because you will be passing that joy on to other people like ripples in a pool. All right. Whatever we do energetically, our energetic work, our healing work, when we allow ourselves to raise our vibration, and that's what joy will do. Joy is a very high vibration indeed. When we allow ourselves to experience true happiness, you know, and peace and joy, that goes out into the collective like ripples in a pool. You know, that energy travels outwards, and you are helping other people just by doing that. You're making it easier for them to learn how to experience joy and get over their issues as well. You make it easier for them to allow themselves to be joyful, to do nice things for themselves. You are teaching them on an energetic level how to work with joy. And I feel like that is the next step for you. It's all about working with joy and working with your higher abilities here. So I think it's going to be fun. Yes, playtime is over. It is time to take things a little bit more seriously, but we can do that in a joyful manner. So please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, pile one. Hit the like button if that you enjoyed this video. Please do leave me a comment. I read every single comment. Thank you so much for watching. You take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello, pile 2. You've chosen the pile of cards with the smiling Buddha. We're going to pop him down here and let's take a look at your cards. So first cards, we have number 30. There is only light, and 37, focus. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. Interesting. Okay, it does feel like there's a bit of a challenge being laid out to you here. Possibly on your spiritual path, maybe you've been taken astray a little bit. Maybe you've become uncertain of what it is that you need to do, or that you want to do, or that you even feel safe doing. It could be that you got a little scared, maybe you frightened yourself. I don't know, it does happen, you know, in mediumship we can definitely get spooked sometimes, but it's not generally, you know, upsetting or scary. But it can be because, you know, we are working with forces beyond human comprehension, and it takes a lot of trust to work with your spirit guides. So wherever you are on your path right now, pile 2, because obviously everyone's at different stages, it feels like you're being asked to trust that everything is okay, that you are safe, that you are okay, particularly on your spiritual path, particularly with your psychic abilities, with your spiritual abilities. And you are being asked to focus more time, dedicate more time to them if you're not spending enough time on them at the moment. Or if you are spending time on them, really focus on it, really go deeper. All right, go deeper. It feels like there's a lot within you that you haven't actually got out yet. It feels like there are a lot of abilities maybe you haven't even tapped into, maybe you were scared of. You know, it does happen, particularly if we're younger and we have no one to guide us, which is why, you know, I do feel strongly that this kind of spirituality and psychic ability and all of our higher abilities should be taught in school so that people know what they are when they show up. And that they are completely natural and completely normal. You know, you could be one of those people who had very powerful spiritual experiences very young, but you had no one there to guide you through them, no one there to tell you, oh, this is okay, don't worry, this is normal, this is just your clairaudience or your clairsentience, or, you know, this is just your spirit guide, or that's fine, you know, or oh, you have natural mediumship and that's why you saw the old man in your bedroom, you know. And very often, well, more often than not, we don't have that. You know, we don't have that supportive, sensible voice to say, it's okay, don't worry, everything is fine, and to teach us how to actually use our abilities. So I do want to say, go deeper with your abilities, pile 2, go deeper. And I keep hearing banging every time I say that. I don't know where it's coming from. I apologise if the recording's picking it up, but I keep hearing banging. So it's almost like you need to bang on the door, or maybe spirit are banging on the door, but I keep hearing banging every time I say go deeper, which is so bizarre. And really pay attention to what you're doing, because it does feel like there's change coming to your psychic ability, to your spiritual path here. But it is okay, it's positive, and it feels very much on that 30 there, that 33, that you have a huge opportunity to actually grow, to move perhaps in a new direction, or to do something different with your spirituality, with your spiritual abilities, your higher abilities that you're not doing at the moment. Or maybe you're not paying attention to what your spirit guides are trying to nudge you towards. It could be that they're literally saying, okay, we've got this all lined up for you, now go and do it. And you're going, no, I can't see that. La 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 la. And you're just not looking. Do pay attention at the moment, because it is safe. You are okay. There is only light. You know, that's all that's real. Fear isn't real, remember. The devil isn't real either. Only love exists. Only God exists. Okay, you are safe. You are okay. Of course, there are ways to do things, you know, in the right manner. Of course there are. But I want you to take the element of fear out of your spiritual practice, out of your spiritual path at the moment, and really focus on what you can do, what you can work with within yourself. So it may be as well on your actual path that you're feeling a little bit fearful at the moment, that things just aren't going to go in your direction. Maybe you're one of these people, I feel you could be one of these people, yeah, that actually knows what your spiritual path is. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you don't want to do it for whatever reason. It could be fear, it could be a lack of confidence, it could be a lack of support, a lack of money, lack of time. You know, we can come up with endless excuses why we don't do what we're supposed to do. But you really should be paying attention to it right now, because it will come in with a huge amount of transformation and a huge amount of wisdom which will come through to allow you to actually change your life for the better right now. It feels like that bit needs to come first. That's the missing piece of the puzzle right now. And then you can make the positive changes in your life that you're actually yearning for, or perhaps on a very concrete or practical level at the moment that you can't actually get right now. But it absolutely is possible for you, Pile 2. It absolutely is. So trust that everything is okay. Keep focusing within. Keep meditating. If you don't meditate, that is something I'm going to suggest that you think about doing, because that's going to be a very, very transformational practice for you right now. So let's bring in some cards from the Divination of the Ancients now. So we have Geomancy, Patience, and we have Crystals, Healing. Okay, we're going into a very balanced energy here, by the way they've put the cards out. Okay, just to let you know, I don't have a specific spread when I lay cards out. I put them out as I feel I need to put them out. This is very balanced. It's also reminiscent to me of the Pillars of the Temple. It feels like there is a nudge here for you to actually build your temple, or continue building your temple if you already had. You know, if you don't have an altar or a special sacred place in your world, in your home, where you can spend time, where you can commune, you know, with your higher self, with spirit, to meditate, to pray, then there is a bit of a nudge here to actually create that for yourself, to pay attention as well to the world around you. I want to say pay very much attention to the signs, the symbols. They are all around you at all times. And I think you are somebody that really can heed those signs and symbols, but it might just be that you don't want to, or you don't feel safe to do that at the moment, because there is a real concern coming up for you, I feel, about safety, or at least for some of you, because remember, this is a group reading, so that may not be for everyone. But there is some sort of concern that's actually holding you back at the moment, which I feel is rooted in fear one way or another. So crystals comes up as well. Now that is interesting, because you picked up a pile of cards that didn't have a crystal on it. You picked up one that had a little resin statue. So that is curious to me that crystals have come out here. So it could be, I feel like you may be rejecting crystals and they can actually help you at the moment. So that, again, that may be something that you want to get into. It may be something, I'm very drawn to this little piece here. This is a quartz point, a very, very battered looking quartz point. I love this one. Look at all of those bits in there. Look at all of that. And you can actually scry using a crystal, and I feel for you that could be something that could be extremely potent, because look how lit up this crystal is here that they're holding. I feel like crystals can really take you to another level, and I want to talk about past lifetimes in Atlantis. I want to talk about Atlantean energy here. I want to talk about Lemurian energy here. So I feel like crystals are something that you have actually worked with in a past life, and I think you'd probably know that, or you sense it, or you suspect it. And I just want to confirm that for you. If you didn't already know, I want to confirm that, and I want to say, yes, this is something that you definitely should be doing. You should be working with crystals if you feel drawn to work with them right now, or whatever other tools it is you feel drawn to work with, or whatever other modalities you feel you want to do. You know, you might be a healer that works with a very specific type of energy healing. You're very drawn to bring that to the world, but you're thinking, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure if I should right now. And there is a little bit of a crossover here with pile 1, so you may wish to go and watch that one as well, because I feel for some of you that is going to resonate. See if that resonates for you. So let's bring in some more cards here. We have 58, Stag Spirit, take the lead. 55, Snake Spirit, time to heal. And 27, Fox Spirit, think on your feet. Oh, yes. Well, aren't you a busy bee? Okay. Yeah. So it feels like, much as you want to, may want to spend more time with your spirituality, which is obviously why you're watching this reading, because this is a spiritual path reading, so you haven't come to this by accident. You've come to watch it because you want to watch it. You want to know what's going on with your spiritual path. But it feels like you're very much having to pay attention to physical things at the moment, to the very practical matters of life. And I can see that you're very good at that, Pile 2. I can see that you're extremely good, extremely practical, very pragmatic. You're very good at getting things done. People come to you if they want to get things done. You know, it feels like you have natural leadership ability. It may be that in the workplace you're an actual leader of some kind, that you're a manager of some sort. And I can see what a quick mind you have as well. So I'm wondering if there's some air in your chart, if you're an air sign or something. One of your big three is an air sign. I think a lot of the people watching are going to find that's the case. Yes, and the snake. The snake is always very, very interesting because yes, there is venom, but there's also a very, very strong healing potential when snakes show up. The snake is, of course, the symbol of healing. I'm drawn to a fucus as well here for some reason. The serpent bearer of fucus, which by some is considered to be the 13th zodiac sign. So I do just want to mention a fucus. There could be a connection there for you. It may be something that you actually want to look into, maybe something that you would like to discover more about. It may be that you are actually, you know, a fucus yourself, that you have that as your sun sign, but it's just something you're not aware of. But I can see that on your path right now, you're having to be intensely practical. It does look like you're having to really think fast about things. I mean, the fox spirit, foxes are very canny, they think on their feet, but it feels like you're having to do that at the moment, whereas ideally you would like to slow down and take some time off right now, and that's the core of the matter. You would like to be able to do that, but you can't, because you've got to do these two things instead. You've got to take the lead, you've got to help other people, get things done, and think really fast. So it does feel like a very challenging situation to be in, and that could be your work situation. It could be that you work in a very fast-paced environment. I nearly said past-paced, which is interesting. I always pay attention to words that slip out by accident because readings come through me, not from me. Past-paced, So again, this this tendency to want to hurry and get things done. I feel some of this could be coming from a past life. Okay, so there could be some work to do there to let go of some old karma that may be pushing you to achieve, push. There could be something from, it could actually be from this lifetime, not necessarily a previous lifetime, something pushing you on, always pushing you on. You could be struggling with perfectionism, which will make you work incredibly hard and will not leave you any time for healing. And it's interesting that we've got these two cards here together, which both have the word healing on them. So take time to heal and healing. Healing is definitely highlighted for you at the moment. However you choose to do that, whether it's your physical body that needs attention, needs more water, needs a better diet, needs more exercise, needs better exercise, needs better quality exercise, needs better air to breathe, maybe you need to quit smoking, whatever it is. But you really need to be spending that time paying that attention to yourself, because that's what's going to bring the change. That's what's going to bring the transformation that you want. That, alongside working with your psychic ability and not being scared of it. The healing has to happen too. It absolutely must happen. It's incredibly important. And I think you're quite capable of doing it. And I think some of it is, rather than being on the level of energy, it feels like there are some very practical things you can do with 5510-1. I feel a very practical energy. There is an invitation here to start a class, like a yoga class or something, whatever it is. There is an invitation to use your mind to make your health better, to make your wellness better. I feel that you could be drawn to actually study some sort of alternative health or wellness, holistic health. That could be a draw for you as well, because you're very cranial. You're definitely well suited for that sort of study, because you'll take it in really, really quickly and you will remember it and you will be able to help people. And you do also have the patience, as indicated on this card, to actually do a longer form of content. Of course, for example, whereas some people just don't have the patience. They want to do like a weekend and that's it, whereas other people want to study for years on end. I feel like studying for years on end would be very fun for you, very enjoyable. But you need to have the time to do it, because it feels like you run yourself ragged at the moment. I feel almost like these two cards are spinning around the rest of the cards here. The energy is kind of spinning as I look at it, like, I can't stop, I got to keep going, I got to run, rush. So just bring in the last card here from the Fairy Oracle. Your card here is Hope. And it wants to bring in a lot of optimism here. I do want to say everything's okay. All right. Even if you're not sure where you are right now, everything is okay. And yes, it definitely can get better for you. All right. I just want to say, for some of you, you might think that your best days are behind you. You may be looking at your life, at your path, thinking, oh, I had such a great time back then and I'm never going to have as good a time ever again. And I hate it when people say that, because I think that's so sad. I think that is so sad. And I just want to reassure you that no, there is always change, there is always possibility, but your healing must take precedence. And I want to reassure you that it is okay for you to move forwards with your own psychic development, your own spiritual development at this time, in whatever form it takes or you choose for it to take. Please do go ahead with that. That is kind of the missing piece here. there is a lot of positivity on the horizon for you. You just can't see it yet, all right, because it feels like you're still in this very turbulent energy. So we're just going to bring in a few extra cards now from the Messenger Oracle. Let's see. We have Shadow Healing, Clever Darkness on 61.7. Yeah, I know. Remember who you are. I am, yes. And frequency first. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so shadow healing, yeah, kind of speaks for itself. Healing darker aspects of self, traumatized aspects of self that we don't want to look at, so we hide it in the shadows. That's what I mean by shadow healing. It's not necessarily that you're a bad person and you're hiding negative traits. You might be. If you are, then, you know, deal with them. Do the work. Begin the work. It's never a quick or easy fix, but it can definitely be done. And there is also a reminder with the shadow healing card that all of the difficult experiences we've been through happened for a reason, an important reason on our spiritual path, even if it doesn't seem like it at the time. And we don't have to enjoy them when they're happening. My Lord. Goodness, no. It's only in hindsight that we can look back and go, oh yes, actually from that situation I learnt this. From that situation I realised I had to heal that in myself, or I had to make this change in myself, and I did the work to improve myself. You know, very often when we find ourselves in a difficult or abusive situation, we then go on to make positive change in ourselves as a result. Okay, and you don't want to give the person credit for that, all right? You're not expected to be thankful or grateful if they were a terrible person who are horrible to you, but we can kind of, when we're ready, we can take a step back and look at it from a higher standpoint and go, oh yeah, actually that did prompt me to do this, so actually I can see why that might have happened, you know, or how that helped me. You know, I can see how the darkness always helps the light, because it does. At the end of the day, the darkness, the shadow is nothing but a shadow, okay, of the light. It's just a little reminder of what it might look like if we were actually separated from God, but we're not. You will never be separate from God. You cannot be separate from God, goddess, divinity, whatever you choose to call it. Doesn't matter, to be honest. You are never separate. You are always one. Remember who you are. All right. Coming in with that wise number 11. So 11, 11, 2, pillars of the temple. High priestess energy. So remember exactly who you are. You've had some very powerful, very spiritual lifetimes. Again, I want to go to Lemuria. I want to go to future past lifetimes in the future, because our lifetimes are not sequential. You know, they're not linear along a line. We can have past lifetimes which actually happen in the future. Well, our future as we look at it, but time doesn't exist outside of this reality, so it's kind of irrelevant. It does feel like you've already had Aquarian lifetimes. Okay, we are moving into the age of Aquarius right now, but it feels like you've already done some of the Aquarian lifetimes and you've come back to the beginning of the era for some reason right now on your path. And I think it is an important time for you. This is a very important lifetime. You are here to do a lot of healing. You are here to heal fears in other people. I feel that's why you've come back here. You're here to help heal fear around who we are and what we're capable of, around our higher abilities, about our psychic abilities, about the abilities of our mind, what we can do, what we can create, what we can manifest, how we can adapt and mould the world to our own visions, to our image. And I think there's a lot of fear in the collective about that right now. There certainly is. I mean, you know, human beings look at what's being created, look at, you know, how weapons have been created and how they can destroy and all the terrible things they can do, and things are created that pollute and harm the world and harm people. So I think what I'm sensing is, on some level right now, the collective has this fear of their potential, this fear of what they can do, because they don't realise they're being run by psychopaths. All right, it's the psychopaths in charge causing the problems, not the little man at the bottom. Okay, and I don't mean that in a spiritual sense, because nobody's little. You know, we are all God at the end of the day. But what I mean here is that there is a reticence, there is a fear of what we're capable of. And I feel that is a lesson that you're going through at the moment, or at least for some of you, actually going through a fear of your psychic ability, or your higher abilities, or your spirituality, or your healing ability right now, a fear of what you're capable of, feeling not quite safe with it, like it's not quite right. And again, that's some of the guilt that comes through from people who did have Atlantean lifetimes, because things did go a bit wrong back then. So that's completely normal. And I feel that's why you've come back to the beginning of the age of Aquarius, to actually heal that within yourself, and also to heal that in the collective, because when you heal other people as well. Isn't that great? And it is all about frequency. It is all about helping mankind to reach a higher frequency, a higher vibration, so that people can move forwards, so that we can ascend as a species, so that we can move to higher energy, higher vibrations, to live in a more wonderful world of peace, of joy, embodied by this lovely little Buddha here, of peace, compassion, love, kindness. That's why you're here. And you know it as well. But you don't have to run around after everybody else. All you're asked to do is to do your own healing and to lose your own fear and remember who you truly are. And that's what's really going to take you forwards, I feel, on your spiritual path here, pile 2. So I'm just going to pull one final card. I love this one. Stab the Onion. Thank you to Gemma for helping me come up with this. You know who you are. On 22. Yeah. Stab the Onion is about getting to the heart of the matter. You have got time to mess about here. I want to say, get on with it. When Stab the Onion shows up, it's spirit saying, get a move on, get on with it, do it now. Stop fanning around. We haven't got time to peel the onion, just stab the damn thing, get to the centre of it. And it is also about alchemizing, about doing various spiritual work, which can almost be like counselling or fast forward. Some things can clear really, really quickly when we're not expecting them to. So theta healing, SRT, the kind of work that Gemma, that I just mentioned, actually does. I'll link her details below if you're interested in working with her. She helps to alchemize things so that you can move on with your spiritual path and leave some stuff behind that's actually holding you back. She works with archetypes as well. Absolutely fascinating, amazing lady. Does some incredible work. Very, very powerful, very spiritual, very high vibration, very high frequency. And that's what you're here to do right now, to fix your frequency on 26/8, because you are an eternal being and your heart is just learning that. It does feel like your heart is learning that you are an eternal being. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing is ever over. Nothing is ever truly dead or gone. Nothing ceases to exist. It just changes form. That's all that really happens. There is a reminder. Remember who you are. You are God. You are a divine being in human form. You are a perfect, beautiful child of God. I'm telling you this right now just to remind you. I'm sure you know, but I feel like you need to hear it just one more time. So thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave me a like, leave me a comment if there's something you would like to tell me. I love to read your comments. I read every single one. Please, please do. And let me know if there are any video ideas that you would like me to make. And I will see you very soon. Take very, very good care of yourself. And remember who you are, pile 2. So hello, pile 3. You have chosen the pile of cards with the clear quartz crystal angel. I shall pop him here. Okay, and let's take a look at your first cards. We have number 17, visualize, and number 19, transformation. Oh, wow. Okay, this is some big energy to be starting with, pile 3. What have you been up to? Okay. All right, so we're taking a look at spiritual path here today. Wow. Whew. It feels to me almost like whatever you set your mind on right now you can achieve, rather than me telling you, oh, this is what your spiritual life is, your spiritual path is telling you to do. It kind of feels almost like you're being asked, what would you like to visualize and actually bring into matter, to create? What would you like to transform in your life? What would you like to alchemize? What would you like to create, expand, grow? Very, very big energy around you right now, pile 3. This is, it's quite mind-blowing actually to tap into this energy. This is incredible. And look at this beautiful lotus, above the head of the bigger aspect of the person. So it feels to me like you're already working very strongly with much stronger, much higher aspects of the self, with that 17/8 energy. There's a lot of wisdom that you carried through to this lifetime. You already knew a lot of stuff. You didn't have to learn it, on a spiritual standpoint. And it could be that you had innate psychic gifts right from a very, very early age, because there's a lot going on here with your energy. There's a lot to do with your chakras. It looks to me like you are a natural channel, I want to say. And that is an ability that you can use. And I want to say as well, when you want to create things in your life, when you're trying to manifest change or bring things into your life, I want to say declare it out loud. Use your voice, because your voice feels very, very powerful, and you might not have used it enough or frequently enough. It feels to me like chanting as well would be very helpful for you. Sound healing, anything to do with the vibration of sound, I'm very, very drawn to for you. Pile 3. So 1910-1. Wow, transformation. Hello, change agent. It does feel very strongly to me like you're one of these people who's here to help people through change. You bring change to people's lives, or you turn up when people are having major changes in their life. So you are a change agent. You are here to help people with that, to learn from their past mistakes, to learn from their past lives as well, so that they can do better. So in a way, you're kind of the teacher in a lot of these situations, and that may have actually played out in your love life, in your relationships. You may have ended up being the teacher and thinking, well, what was the lesson for me in that? And if there isn't one, you weren't the student. Okay. So very powerful energy to work with, which can definitely feel very challenging as well, I want to say. But this does feel like a moment where you can actually change some things in your life, and it does feel like that's necessary. It does feel like you've got your eyes on a prize at the moment. There is something that you want to do, some changes you want to make to actually implement in your life right now, and it is absolutely the moment to do it. It's very, very potent energy around you right now. I would say that you can manifest or create anything you want right now. Your energies just feel so potent to me. There's very little stopping you except for yourself right now. So let's bring in some more cards. Let's bring in some cards from Divination of the Ancients. Scrying Mirror, Projection, and Lots, Chance. We've got some talking stones there. Okay. Very interesting. And again, look at the colours. We've got the same beautiful indigos here coming through. Very, very beautiful, very mystical, spiritual colours. I remember seeing these exact colours in Aura Soma one time, and they're extremely spiritual colours, very, very highly evolved energy when you have these colours coming through. So I do want to say that, I want to say know who you are. And I think for most of you, or at least a large part of you, you already do know that you're this very special soul, this very special, person who has these abilities, who can help others, who can manifest things. You already know that, but it feels like you don't feel totally in control of it. And I think that's one of the things that you're here to learn in this lifetime. You're not completely in control of it. It might feel like your wings have been clipped. Okay, like, I understand all of the stuff, I feel all these things, I sense this, I can do this for this person and that for that person, but I can't quite manifest this thing for myself, or I can't quite do these things for myself or as quickly as I would like them to do. And first of all, I want to say, it doesn't always happen as quickly as you want it to. But you are an incredibly good manifester, even if you don't feel like it at the moment, even if you think you're not, even if you think you're struggling and you think everything's down to chance or luck. It's absolutely not down to chance or luck. It feels very strongly to me that you're incredibly good at creating and transforming, transmuting energy. And when you look at it, it might look like you've just been lucky at certain points in your life, but there's no such thing as luck, and I really don't believe that's the case. But I do also want to say that you are very much here to teach people about how to create their reality, how to change their reality, and to teach them about the divine plan in the universe and the divine design of the universe. I want to very much talk about that for you here. I feel like your life has a very powerful and beautiful design to it as well. And that's not to say that it's been perfect or happy or exactly what you wanted. No, I don't think that at all. Nobody really has a life that's perfect exactly how they want it to be. But I think yours has been very special. It feels to me like you're a very, very special person. And I mean that, in a very sincere way. And if no one's ever said that to you, I'm saying it to you now. Okay, you are a very special person. I'm also very drawn to lapis lazuli, which I'm just going to show you some here. Very drawn to this crystal for you right now. It feels very much that this would chime with your energy. This will resonate with your energy and actually help you in your work, because this does resonate with the third eye chakra, and we have the visualize card here. So it does feel like your clairvoyance particularly is highlighted in this reading, and that's an ability that either you're using or are being asked to use at the moment. It does feel like your clairvoyance is strong, or it's just gone up a level, or it's just about to go up a level, and you will notice when that happens, because because there are changes, I promise you. I didn't have changes for years in my spiritual abilities, my psychic abilities, and then all of a sudden I had a big change and I went, whoa, that's different. You know, something changes and you go, oh, okay, this is not how it used to work before. And that's pretty cool when that happens. I have to say, it is really fun. But I do want to say, yes, lapis lazuli. There's also a connection with Egypt here with lapis coming in here. There's a connection for a past life, I believe, in Egypt for you. Connections to Sirius. Okay, the lapis wants to stay. She can stay. I was about to put her up on the shelf and she didn't want to go. So there she is. That's great. Let's bring in some more cards here. So we've got number 60, Swan Spirit. Time for a deep dive. 36, Koi Fish Spirit. There's always enough. And 30, the Grasshopper Spirit, take a leap of faith. Okay, lots of 3s and 6s here. And this is interesting because when I was saying about how good you are at manifesting earlier, I wanted to say 369 manifestation. I'm very drawn to Master Builder number 369 for you for manifestation. It does feel like that's a system or a system of numbers that you can use in a very powerful way. You may already know how to do that, or it may be something for you to discover. Nikola Tesla worked with the 369 energy. It's very, very powerful numbers in numerology when you start to actually study these numbers. I'm going to encourage you to study the numbers 369. Also look out for the number combination 369 when it shows up, or when it shows up multiple times, because again, that's going to be a marker on your spiritual path, letting you know that you're going in the right direction, letting you know that yes, you can have this, it's on its way. Again, we have 2 numbers in the 30s here, so it's very much a very, very creational point on your path right now. It is about creating new things for yourself. Yeah, creating from the heart as well with 36 here, I want to say, but creating from the heart for the things that you truly want, and knowing that there is enough to go around, that you don't have to play small. Okay, and that has been a theme for some of the other piles of cards here about not playing small, so it does feel like that's something that's relevant to a lot of people at the moment. The koi carp fish is, of course, a very beautiful, very splendid, very expensive fish, and very much a symbol of longevity and also of riches as well, I believe. And it's funny because at the beginning of this reading, I was actually just straightening up some things on my desk. Sometimes I'm drawn to like touch things. And I was just straightening up my little Maneki Neko, and I thought, I wonder if Maneki Neko would like to be a part of this reading. And I thought, no, Helen, don't be so silly. But Maneki Neko is, of course, the beckoning cat who beckons good fortune, beckons money into your life, particularly beckons customers if you run a business as well. But there's a very, very fortunate omen here in Maneki Neko, so I'm just going to bring him in here, because he feels as well like he is a marker on your path, so you may actually see him in places trying to guide you. You'll definitely see him at your local Chinese restaurant because they're very popular with them. So, but he has a very special energy, so do read up on him if you don't know who he is. Yeah, leap of faith, deep dive. Now, this is difficult because we've got almost like 2 opposing energies here with 30 and 60. And 60 is just 30 with wisdom, is what I want to say. It's 30 twice. So it's the wisdom of creation, creating from nothing, creating from the void, pulling from the void, feeling as though you are taking a leap of faith, like you don't know what you're doing, but your soul does know. You are creating and you're building your wings as you fall down. You're jumping off the cliff and building your wings as you fall. And you will build them in time. But it does feel as well like you really feel like there's a lot of work for you to do, that you really have to think very hard about where you're going. It feels like you might be thinking a little bit too much at the moment, really going too deeply into things. This isn't for everybody, of course, because this is a group reading, but certainly some of you are going to be overthinking your abilities, thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this, I don't know if I can do this, I'm aware of these past lives, but I'm not sure if I'm good enough, big enough to actually do this. But I'm going to tell you, you absolutely are. And also I feel that there is some abundance coming in for you as well, because the koi carp fish is a symbol of abundance. And of course we've got Maneki Neko who wanted to join in here as well. Lots of extra stuff coming in today. So there is certainly some I want to say some money potentially coming in for some of you, some abundance coming in for others in other ways. But it may come in a way that, again, seems lucky. It feels, oh, I played a game of chance. You know, I bought a lottery ticket and some money came in. I'm not saying to buy a lottery ticket, you know, if you don't want to, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't have to be that. It will be whatever it is for each unique person, because everyone's different. But it does feel like some help coming in, some extra money, some extra finances coming in, really to give you that boost and to keep you going, so that you can take that leap, so that you can know that you're king of the grasshoppers. You know, you don't have to play it small, so you can be the beautiful swan, not the ugly duckling anymore. It feels like a real time of blossoming for you on some level as well, so this is exciting. Just going to bring in the last card here, which is protection from the fairy oracle. Oh, that's beautiful. Just to remind you that you're safe and everything is okay. And that your family are safe, your loved ones are safe, and everything is okay. All right. It feels as well like there is enough support around you right now, this beautiful circle of supportive fairies supporting each one of your chakras. It is safe for you to do your spiritual work, to actually lean more into that, spend more time doing it. Okay, that is your path. That is the most important thing you can do right now, I think. But it feels like it's safe for you to do it, even if you're not sure and you're thinking, well, I'd like to spend more time doing my spiritual work, healing, praying, meditating, healing the world, you know, whatever it is that you do. But I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be doing that. I'm not sure if I can really give the time to that aspect of my life. But you're being told here quite clearly, yes, you are safe to do that. It is safe for you to really lean into your spirituality, your spiritual path at this time. It is the moment for you to do that, and the fairies actually will step in and provide that support. Your spirit guides, your angels will provide that support. So it does facilitate you working with your spiritual gifts, with your psychic abilities, with your higher gifts that can actually help to make the world a better place, because that is, of course, what you're here to do. You are here to help transform people's lives. You are a change agent. You are a transformer, if you like. That's what you're here to do. So let's bring in some cards from the message oracle. See what we've got here. See what else they have to add. Say yes and see what happens. Well, there you go. All right, don't delay. It's okay. Don't worry about not being sure about doing things. Just do it anyway and see what happens. Okay, don't overthink. Number 5 can really overthink. Okay, it's the scientific mind, the analytic mind, and we can really get caught up in thinking and not doing anything. But 5, the opposite aspect is that it's also a call to adventure. All right, there is a real call to adventure here on your spiritual path. Say yes, do it. See what happens. It's okay. Body soul alignment. Oh wow, 57. 57, 12, 3. Oh yes, very, very creative. And cosmic alignment. Oh wow. Okay, you're on 43. There's a lot of parts of you all coming into alignment at the moment. It feels like energetically your ducks are coming into a row. That's why it's the moment for you to be stepping forwards and being the spiritual teacher, being the spiritual guide, being the healer, being whatever it is that you're drawn to do on your path. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be big. It's just whatever you feel drawn to do, and the way that you help people with changes in their lives, the way that you support people, the way that you manifest in your own life as well. Everything is coming together right now. It does feel like there are a lot of things that you might have prayed for, or abilities that you asked for or asked to understand, which are coming to the fore right now. It's all happening. It's all coming together. Again, I want to talk about star nations. I want to talk about extraterrestrial species, as we might call them in our very, very human way, who are actually multidimensional beings. It's kind of rude to call them that, if I'm honest. But there are definitely connections here for you with past lives on other planets, in other dimensions, and everything's coming together. Your body, it feels like that's going through some changes, some transformation of its own at the moment as well. But it's doing that in order to align with the higher frequencies of your soul. So your soul patterns are coming through right now for your body to actually become aligned to. It's like a new blueprint, a new design for your DNA, which is actually changing and shifting at this time. DNA doesn't stay static. It grows with us. It evolves with us as we evolve on an energetic level, I'm just being told. Don't try to force it. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. So at the same time, say yes, but don't try to put pressure on yourself to force something to happen if it's not going to. It's going to happen beautifully. It's going to happen with wisdom, going to happen in divine timing. And all you have to do is say yes. You don't have to force it to happen. All right. The changes are going to happen in your life anyway. All you're asked to do is to trust and lean into your spirituality, lean into that spiritual aspect of your life, your psychic abilities, your higher abilities, and just go with it. Okay, because I feel like the path will be shown. It's certainly not clear right now, which is why you can't see the path, because it's not being shown to you right now. Only the first step is being shown, or maybe the first 2 steps for some people, but I don't think it's any more than that. But you've got to remember, you don't need to be able to see all the steps. You just need to see the one you're about to take. That's it. You know, you just have to take that first step. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. Take the step. This is very much the moment. Feels very much like it's your moment as well on your spiritual path. This is important. There's some very major changes coming into your life right now. This is your time. This is your moment. Big major life change for some people coming in here, with these shifts, with these changes, coming in with huge amounts of wisdom as well, and huge amounts of love as well from the higher realms, from other planets. I feel there's a connection with Sirius here. I think I said that already. Love coming through from Sirius and from the Sirian beings as well. You may also have a connection to cats, I feel. Maybe a connection to cats, maybe you own cats or just love cats. There could be a spiritual connection to cats there as well. So please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment. I love to read all of your comments. I will read every single one, I promise. Thank you so much for joining me here. You take very, very, very good care of yourself, Pile 3, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 4. You've chosen the pile of cards with the Thai Buddha. We will just pop him here, and let's take a look at your first cards. So you have 11 Remembrance and 1 Soul Name. Okay, so we're starting out very strong here with a 111 number combination. Okay, this is very spiritual. I love this energy. This is very, very beautiful. Okay, very powerful, very angelic energy here as well. Very positive, light energy around you. Very well integrated, I want to say as well. And it does feel very much like this is a very sacred lifetime for you. And it is for a lot of people, you know, it's not to say that it's not for others as well. But it is a very, very sacred lifetime. But I feel like on your spiritual path right now, it's almost like there's an impulse to relive some aspects of a previous lifetime. I feel like many of you watching this particular aspect of the video may have actually had lifetimes as priests, priestesses. In fact, I would say, I would hedge my bets and stop hedging my bets and actually say I believe all of you have. I would put money on that. You've all had lifetimes as priests, priestesses, holy people, holy men, holy women. Very, very powerful connection here. I'm very much taken to ancient Greece for some of you as well. There may be past lifetimes there. I want to talk about Apollo, particularly the temple of Apollo, temple of the sun. That comes through very strongly. And it's not necessarily in Greece, because obviously the sun was worshipped in a lot of different parts of the world. But that feels like it's coming through very strongly for you at the moment. And that's coming through with information. So it may not be coming through specifically as memories of this lifetime, but it's coming through as information. And you may actually be feeling a connection to the sun or something going on there. You may feel how replenishing that energy is for you. I certainly find the sun very replenishing. I love connecting with that energy. Very, very powerful. I also want to bring lion energy in here as well. And I would say, regardless when you're watching this, I want to say have a look at your Lionsgate reading for this year as well. Whether that's from me or from another person, or just work you were doing around Lionsgate. Lionsgate is the 8th of August. It's a very powerful summertime portal. Very, very powerful energy. If you can remember what was happening in your life back then, or what you were doing spiritually, I think that has an impact on your spiritual path right now. So very, very potent energy. There is a huge amount of past life stuff coming through right now for you to actually work with, for you to utilize. This isn't like old karma coming up for you to clear it, for you to heal from, learn from it. It feels like you've brought a whole load of things through You brought a lot through into this lifetime anyway, but you've just suddenly had another big dump download. It's all come in. It feels like an information dump that's just come in for you. Or it may be coming through in your meditations. You may be like crazily writing things down, going, oh my goodness, there's so much stuff. I've got to write it all down. I've got to log all of this. I've got to remember all of this. I've got to integrate all of this. How am I going to do this? Okay, so first of all, I want to say don't be overwhelmed if that is happening to you. Don't feel overwhelmed if you're finding there's a lot of wisdom, a lot of energy coming through for you at the moment. Don't worry, you're exactly where you need to be right now on your path. You're exactly where you need to be. And just as I was gazing at the cards before I started recording for pile 4, I was just tuning into the energy, and I was reminded of a story. Well, it's not a story because it happened to me in life. Somebody that I used to be connected to on Facebook, I don't remember who they were, doesn't matter. They put up a question one time to all of their followers, knowing that everyone was kind of very spiritual and possibly in a group, and said, where do you think you are on your spiritual path? Now, I immediately knew that was a trap because nobody knows where they are in their spiritual path. How could you possibly tell from a human standpoint? You don't know. Okay, nobody knows. And this is my point here. Nobody knows where they are in your spiritual path. It's not about what you've achieved or appear to have achieved in this lifetime. You are exactly where you're meant to be, and you're on it. That's all you need to know. End of. That's all you need to know. And it was quite naughty of him to try and trap some people and try and embarrass some people by getting them to boast about how great they thought they were. Very naughty thing to do. Not particularly helpful. So let's bring in a couple more cards here. We have psychometry, sensitivity, and aura observation. Oh, wow. You are so sensitive. So sensitive. Psychometry is, of course, the art of doing readings from objects. So if you have an object that belongs to somebody, you can actually read the energy from that object, and there are different techniques to actually give somebody a reading just from an item, maybe an item of jewellery, something that they've owned for a long time, that has always been theirs, that's had lots of their energy imprinted onto it. You can actually read their energy from that. It's a very interesting, fun thing to do. It's something that I do with my meditation groups. When we come along, I get people to bring items and then read them for each other and try and guess who they belong to. That's always fun. But I do see that you are very, very sensitive with this. So it might be that you actually need to actively shield your energy a little bit more at the moment, because otherwise you may be finding there's feelings of overwhelm from the downloads coming through, but there's also feelings of overwhelm from picking up too much stuff from other people. So I do see that you're very sensitive, highly empathic, and I do want to say with your aura, shield your aura, protect your energy if you don't already do that, or if you do, do it more regularly. You know, it can't hurt to do a little bit more. Make sure you are doing it adequately, frequently enough, and make sure you're grounding your energy as well, because it does feel like your aura is very expansive at the moment, and the aura does get very big, very expansive when we do lots of spiritual work. And so again, we can touch lots of other people with our aura and start picking up more stuff from them. All right, it's like wearing a very big coat that kind of sticks out in all different directions, and you're walking through a thicket of thistles and picking up seeds from plants, like those sticky ones that stick to your cat in the winter or to your dog. And you don't want those, because then you have to take them off afterwards because they just get in the way and they're uncomfortable. So I do want to say, shield your energy very carefully at the moment. You're in an extremely potent point of this lifetime, an extremely spiritually potent point, and a very sensitive point as well. So you do need to be very, very gentle with yourself, very careful with yourself, and you do need to make sure that you are drinking enough water. I do feel quite strongly that some of you watching this are also rainbow souls as well. I'll let you look into what that actually means. There are some people who try to say, oh, well, you have to be born within these years for it to be a rainbow, but that's not exactly how it works. That's just a kind of very crude human interpretation of these things. But I feel a lot of you watching actually have rainbow souls, which is very powerful. And you are here to be forerunners for the age of Aquarius. You are here to lead the way for a lot of different people, which means, yes, you are very sensitive. You may be feeling very overwhelmed with everything that's been happening for the past few years, regardless of when you watch this. There's definitely a sense of overwhelm, there's a sense of oversensitivity coming through, and a sense of real sacredness. And it might be that you want to retreat back to the safety that you remember from these past lifetimes, or that feeling of safety, retreating, spending time on your own, being a hermit. You might be somebody who just doesn't want to spend time with anybody ever because it's too much. You can't handle dealing with people, talking to people. It just depletes you, and it's almost like part of you wants to go back to that temple wants to get back within the temple walls where you can just feel safe, where you can do your spiritual practice, you can hide away from the world. So there is a real sense of wanting to hide coming through with this reading for you, pile 4. I want a sense of wanting to stay away from the world, get away from the world, disconnect from the world. And I do have to say that may not be the right thing to do. All right, you don't need to disconnect if you shield your energy correctly. You don't need to disconnect if you're grounding regularly. You don't need to disconnect, nor should you, because you are a part of this world and you need to learn to live in it. Even if you're very, very sensitive, even if you feel like you don't belong here, like you should be in a past life somewhere else or in some other reality, you do have to live here, you do have to exist here, and you do have to be okay with that so that you can do the things that you want to do. All right, it's not just about other people. I'm not just saying, suck it up, buttercup. No, I really want you to have the best life that you can have, and you can't have that if you can't get out the door, if you're struggling with agoraphobia. And believe me, I get it. I've been there. Okay, I really get it. I do. I actually want to go to my spirit deck here, my little message deck quickly, which I don't normally do at this point, but this one wants to come in early. So let's see what we've got. Oh, what does love mean to you? Oh, that's a deep question. And learn to rest, not to quit. Now, what does love mean to you on that eternal number 8? It's not just love, okay? It's what does fill in the blank mean to you? What does spirituality mean to you? What does your spiritual path mean to you? What does this lifetime mean to you? I want you to ask yourself some very, very deep questions. What are you here to do? What do you want to achieve? What do you feel drawn to do at the moment? That's what I want to talk about, rather than, oh, well, yes, I'm getting a lot of things, I'm very sensitive, I'm sitting away in a room somewhere and I don't really know what to do with it. What would you like to do with it, is my question. It feels like you're being offered an opportunity to have some input here about the next steps on your path. What would you like to do with it? Where would you like to go next in your spiritual path? What would you like to experience? Where would you like to be? Would you like to move to another country? And for some of you, I feel that that's a possibility because there's a very expansive energy here. There's a real kind of travelling energy with this little man with the bag here and walking along in his shorts. So it may be moving to a warmer country, moving halfway around the world, maybe moving to a very, very different place. But you have an input in that. You have an opportunity to have a choice here. You're being asked what you want. Okay, so think carefully and think longer term as well with that number, eternal number 8, which can also bring in a lot of abundance. I think it's just a case of asking for it and the abundance will show up so that you can have it, even if you don't have it right now. And also we have learn to rest, not to quit, which has also showed up already today. And this is a powerful reminder that when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling exhausted, you don't have to give up. Sometimes you just need to rest. And that's what some of us, well, a lot of us don't realise. You don't have to do everything at once, and you certainly don't have to do it all by yourself. And look, it's another number 1, so that's now 1111. We've got 4 ones showing up now. As I'm saying this, the time is 1 hour, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. You couldn't make this up, seriously. Spirit of being very, very cheeky here with the numerology. But number 1 is, and sequences of 1s in 3s and 4s are definitely markers on your path. So look out for them. I'm sure you already see them, already notice them. I'm absolutely certain of that. But keep looking for them because they will keep showing up to offer you suggestions, but also to give you choices, I want to say at the moment. So let's bring in some other cards that we've got here waiting for you. We've got our animal oracle cards. We've got 65 whale spirit, trust the great mystery. We've got 51 sandpiper spirit, be playful. And 23 eagle spirit, spirit has your back. Oh, well, that's nice. That's very, very nice indeed. And I'm going to bring the last card in here because it feels appropriate. This is a fairy oracle card. Go outside. Go outside. You can't stay in your room all day. And apologies if you do already go outside. But for those of you who don't go out or don't go out enough, and I'm calling myself out here as well, go outside, get some fresh air, commune with nature, get out, touch the trees, touch the earth, see people, meet people and talk to them. Even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, even if that's something you don't really like to do very much, go and see people, talk to them, find out who they are. Just remember, shield your energy, ground your energy, protect your energy, clear your energy as well. Okay, and you can do that in many different ways, but I'm just suddenly drawn to incense for some reason, so make sure you're stocked up on clearing incense to actually do that. But there's so much support here. Look at that. Whale spirit, trust the great mystery. It's asking you to trust. Everything's okay. There's an incredible amount of wisdom coming through from the Sateans, from the whales here. This is beautiful energy. 6511 too. So again, it's another 11. There's more 1 energy coming in with 11, 6511 too. And I'm just reducing the numbers like we do in numerology because I'm a numerologist. So 65, 6 plus 5 is 11, and then 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. And I will always do that with every number I talk about. So, wow, that's amazing. I love this. This is the higher mind communicating directly to your heart right now. It does feel like there's a lot of downloads being coming through, but they're coming through, I want to say, to the heart chakra. You're very much speaking from the heart. You are altruistic. You are, I want to say you're a lover for some reason. And I almost wanted to get out my romance deck when I was getting ready to actually read your cards. And I might do that in a second. I might get my little romance cards out here as well and see what they want to add, because it feels almost like there's a connection to love or higher love, or maybe tantra for you. That could be something you're interested in or drawn to. You don't have to do that. You know, it's not just about sex. But it does feel like there's something connected to the heart, maybe greater, higher levels of love. You know, I do feel like you have a very, very big, very expansive heart chakra. So let's just see what comes in here with that energy. Got 2 stuck together. Sacred soulmate. Oh, wow. Number 1. Okay, they get cheeky here, and self-care comes first. All right. Another 1. How many is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones. What we got here? Sacred soulmate. Wow. Yeah, a big part of your path is connections with one or several soulmates. And for some reason I wanted to speak in French then, because I do actually speak fluent French, and sometimes, very rarely, I slip into it, and I was about to slip into it then for some reason. So again, there could be a connection to France or French language here for some people. So it could be Quebec in Canada, for example, or parts of Africa or parts of the world where French is spoken, particularly if you're looking to move. But sacred soulmate, yes, it is about relationships. I feel like you've brought a lot of transformation to people through relationships. I feel like you have helped to elevate your soul, your spirit, and other people's through relationships. There's a strong connection to your romantic relationships and your spiritual path here, and that is definitely a thing that we do see. You are very important to all of the soulmates that you've encountered on your path. Be playful. Yes, take a load off. Don't be so serious. It's okay. Have fun with it. Take care of yourself. All right. Self-care comes first with 34-7 and 51-6. So again, there's another 6 more heart energy here. Play. Come from the heart. Play and look after yourself. And play is very much a big part of self-care. And it's one that we do overlook, I think, way too much in this world, and one that we have been overlooking quite a lot since we've been in the age of Pisces. And I think that was just the kind of dark energy that we're in because of the dark powers that have been controlling this planet for so long. It's not really surprising that play wasn't really allowed, wasn't really a thing. But you are here to fly high. And it's interesting that we've got the Eagle Spirit card on 23, because 23 is a very sensitive 5, and it's the Icarus mind. It's where we fly high in the mind. I feel like you could be a philosopher. You could be a spiritual teacher that teaches from the mind and the heart together, because you really speak from the heart. You speak from the higher mind, which comes through to the heart. It's quite an incredible energy that I sense for you, actually, by all 4. This is really, really wonderful to tap into. Very beautiful energy to tap into. So nice, so gentle, so loving as well. And I think you really speak with love as well. You do speak with love. And I feel like you're a very important person for a lot of other people as well. And there could be an opportunity to do some public speaking as well, to actually help bring through messages that you channel. It feels there's a strong feeling for me of you actually channeling messages, or you imparting knowledge, wisdom that you've brought through from past lifetimes, or that you've been channeling from past lifetimes, the downloads you've been having recently. It feels very, very strongly like that's a part of your path. And again, I'm also drawn to the reading for pile 3 here. So if that one resonates, you might want to listen to that one as well, because it feels like there's a bit of crossover for some of you here, because I can feel the energy sliding into that energy as well there. So Spirit has your back. There's a huge amount of support here. Yes, you are very sensitive. Yes, you're a sensitive soul, but you're not alone. You haven't been thrown to the wolves. Spirit are here with you. There's a huge amount of protection, angelic protection that comes through with all of those number ones showing up. You have a huge chorus of angels looking after you at all times. You are safe. You are safe. You are looked after. You are taken care of. You are loved so much. It does feel like you are quite an evolved being on a soul level, but of course we don't know what that means. We don't know what that looks like, and I'm not saying that to flatter your ego, because heaven forbid, we could do without the ego, or at least reduce it as much as possible. But because of that, I feel that's why you're able to tap in to this wisdom, this universal wisdom, and that enables you to be a teacher. It enables you to almost become the priest or priestess in this lifetime, become that again in a new way, to teach people how to move into the age of Aquarius, because that is why you're here. That is why you're here. In my mind, I see a huge amount of light around you. You feel like a light bringer, somebody who brings the light, shines the light for other people. It's a very sacred energy. It's the energy of the Christ consciousness. It feels to me very strongly that that is what you are here to embody. That is what you are here to bring. So I'm just going to bring in a couple more cards here from my message decks. No, you can't have all of those. That's silly. Okay. Oh, that's lovely. I love you more than you know. Beautiful message from your spirit guides there. There is so much love, so much love here for you. Okay, so let's just go back to my normal deck, normal message deck, not the romance one. These pink cards here, they're from my romance deck. Okay, it's okay to play and explore. You don't have to know everything. That's great. There's a real invitation to explore, to play. Again, Sandpiper Spirit, be playful. Experiment, try things, go places, talk to people, see what happens. It's okay. Do it anyway and see what happens. All right. And this is a very fun energy, and I don't want to put any pressure on you, because it needs to be fun. It needs to be what you actually want to do when you feel ready to do it. Okay. So there is no pressure here. There's just a very gentle nudge from Spirit, and it feels like Spirit is trying to nudge you very gently forwards. They will be showing you markers on your path. You have a very sacred path. They will be showing you very clearly, and because you're so intuitive, you'll know when they're showing you. Even if you think you don't know, you do know. Okay, so for those of you sitting watching saying, oh, well, I don't know what the signs are, you do know, you just don't know that you know. All right, sit with that. Sit with you actually do know. And if you did know, what would it look like? Okay. Pay attention, look for the signs, look for the symbols, read books if you need to, if you feel the need to do some spiritual study at the moment, to read from other teachers who have had experiences, who can help you along the path, because you have a very scholarly energy. You have the energy of a philosopher. I think you would enjoy that. I think there are many texts that you would enjoy reading, many spiritual texts that will really bring a lot to your life and actually help to make you feel like you actually know what you're doing. to just bring that kind of energy of, oh, okay, yeah, I've read this, I feel a little bit more informed now, like I know what I'm doing. I think that would be very, very helpful. But there is this reminder that you must go and get fresh air as well. Don't let your body wither away just because you're so much into the spirit energy. And that, I think that would be a tendency for many of you watching Pile 4. A tendency to do too much inner work and not enough outer work. Take care of the body as well. Make sure that you have your spiritual practice. Make sure that you have a physical spiritual practice, or some sort of physical good quality practice, whether it's going to the gym and having a personal trainer, whether it's just going for walks, whether it's doing yoga, Pilates, whatever it is. Make sure you're taking care of that physical aspect of self as well, because it is so important. The physical vehicle has to keep existing so that your soul can be on earth right now. So please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave me a like. Remember to leave me a comment if there's something you would like to share. I do love to read your comments, so please do. Please share this video with a friend if you think it will resonate with somebody else. And take very, very good care of yourself, Pile 4, and I will see you in the next video. You take very good care. Bye-bye.